Hello, in today's Movie Mash application video, we are going to be working in PhotoPea and we are going to be talking about feathering as well as about changing our brushes and then integrating those in with our layer mask. So first we're going to talk about feathering at the very basic level. So feathering is when we use a selection tool, and it could be any of the selection tools. So far we have studied the lasso tool. Today we are going to really take a look at the marquee tool. When you take a selection and your selection then becomes feathered, or we'll say fuzzy or soft. So I'm going to just demonstrate that to you. So prior to making your selection, you do need to activate the feather. So I'm going to be using the rectangle, and this is actually considered a marquee tool. That's what the M stands for. I've set my feather to 25. I'm now going to make my selection. And if I were to hit the delete key, you can see it's kind of faded. So right in the middle, it's taken out at 100%, but then it fades more and more. Now in this particular case, I want to fade kind of from the outside in instead of from the inside out. So I'm going to do a select inverse, and you can see the result that I get. And the more times I hit delete, the more it is going to fade the image. So you can see I'm also using my edit step back to kind of clear that off. So now if we wanted to integrate that with our layer mask, let's talk about how that's going to work. So I'm going to take my feather and I'm not going to change it to a 15. I thought the 25 was a little too much for this particular project. I'm going to do my select inverse, so when I'm painting that black, it's only going to affect this area, but you will see it will go inside of this line because I am going to be applying that feather. Actually, I gotta deselect this and put my mask on that layer first. So here's my mask. Make my selection. Select inverse, and now I'm going to be using my brush tool. Now you can change the size of your brush right here. You can also change the hardness and type of your brush. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. I'm using black because black is the disappearing agent. So you can see that it is allowing some of the image inside to disappear. It will not allow the entire image to disappear because it is feathering or fading that image. The key thing to this, if I decide, oh, you know what, I really want their faces back, on that layer mask, I can switch to white and I can bring them back. Now you can see that's kind of a harsh circle. It's not really too appealing. So I'm going to step back, and I'm going to do the same thing, but the change that I'm going to make is the hardness of my brush. So 100% hard is kind of like that perfect circle, like a die cut. If I go to 0 hardness, a soft brush, it's much more of that feather or fade. So I've decided maybe I want to bring them back right here. So I think I want to increase the size of this image a bit so they're running off the top of the screen. I am going to use that soft brush again and bring some feet back here. So I'm really keeping the fade right here. We'll talk tomorrow about this area a little and what my thought is there. Now, their feet, that's a very drastic line. I don't like that. So I am going to try to switch back to my black. Yeah, maybe. I almost want it to look like they were kind of coming into that grass line. So far we've talked about our marquee selection and about our feather and how important it is to set our feather first. We've talked a little bit more about using a layer mask. So our important takeaway here is that black takes something away, where white is going to bring it back with a layer mask. We've done some select inverse, select deselect. We have talked about the undo and the step back tool. And we have taken a look at the brush settings. So we can adjust our size as well as our hardness. So I'm just going to go to the layer that has happy on and demonstrate the difference between that soft and hard brush again. So this is a soft brush. I'm actually just painting with the brush right now, where this is a hard brush. So you can see the distinct difference between those two. And those are just going to be helpful for you as you start to blend your images and work with them. So for today's activity, I want to be able to see that you have attempted to put another layer mask on and you've attempted to feather an image. Even just so I can see that you've tried the tool, I would like you to make a new layer that you can get rid of then, but where you have a hard brush and a soft brush to understand that you have learned the difference. And then after you do your screenshot, you can drag that layer to the trash can. Of course, remember, it is important that you are taking that screenshot, take your screenshot, that you are saving as a PSD, and then this file that is downloading, it's very important that you're going to your drive to upload that file so you don't lose it. And then when you're in PhotoPea and you're ready to start the next time, I will just upload this file and show you what you need to do. So it is very important. So this is my one from the other day. So it's very important. I'll now right click and I can download. So this will go back to the downloads on my Chromebook so I can open it up from PhotoPea. So please reach out if you have questions and I will be available